Hey, thank you for coming by Tori Magoo 44. Today is the 22nd of September, almost the 23rd. It's not quite midnight with Magoo, which is what I've been doing for a while, but like I explained to most people, it what happens with midnight with Magoo is it goes into one, and then I don't get to bed until like 2 or 3, and then I end up having to sleep the whole day. So I now am doing more like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then Friday night I'll do midnight with Magoo. So there you go. So anyway, my name is Tori Christman, aka Tori Magoo 44. I've been on the internet for about 25 years, making videos about Scientology. I was in Scientology for 30 years. And I woke up, and I know that sounds like a really long time, but you have to remember I got it in 1969. Hey, there you go. Hi, Kelly. The first few minutes were cut off. Okay. Well, hi, JB808. Hi, Lauren. Hey, good to see you guys. Um, Hurts to everybody. Just I was introducing myself and saying, I was in Scientology for 30 years. You guys all know this. But I basically, my main thing that I always want to let people know, because if anybody new is listening, it just sounds so outrageous that someone could be in Scientology as they know it today for 30 years. But it wasn't like that. I got it in 1969. There was no internet, so you had no access to all the information that you guys have. We had no access to that. And despite they saying that my topic tonight is Scientology free speech in America, because as you know, this week we went through a whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel, who's a late night talk show host. I don't know if you guys watch him or not, but just got canceled. And it was really great to see the people stand up, because people canceled Disney, because ABC owns Disney, and ABC is Channel 7 that Jimmy Kimmel's on. So people canceled their Disney this and Disney vacations and Disney cruises and everything. They lost $4+ billion in a week. I mean, that's a lot of money. So they had a talk with Jimmy, and they decided, okay, we got it, and he's coming back tomorrow night. So that's a good corporation that's listening to the people, one way or the other. You can say it's just money, but they made a change, right? Scientology doesn't ever do that. They never listen to the people. They won't even talk to all of us. There's tons of people who have left Scientology. And you would think, a good corporation would at least say, come in. We just want to find out what happened to you, and kind of find out and adjust it, right? No, never. As soon as you leave, you're all black. Yeah, he's coming back. That's why I wanted to let everybody know. They announced it at about 3 o'clock today on Channel 7 that Jimmy Kimmel will be back tomorrow night. And it's been a pretty big deal on media, because it was a pretty big deal that he got canceled over what happened. An iPod from a couple of years ago is practically a supercomputer in the 80s. True. And Marcy, hi. Good to see you. Yes, he should be back on, in my opinion. Me too. I'm really happy about it. I mean, The View did a really great thing today talking about free speech and how, that our country was founded on freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press. And to have it just like, the government, in our Constitution, it says the people should always, that should always be respected, because people in government will try to put their views in. And it's like, no. The founding fathers said, no. The people can speak. So there you go. It happened today. So you're trying to get in my slow computer. Okay, don't worry. JB808, nice. If anything, is stirred up a lot of buzz, so he'll get the ratings. Yeah. I felt bad for all of his staff that were threatened with unemployment. Yeah, everybody felt bad about that. But you know what? It's working out. So that's good. They'll all be back working. So there you go. So never feel like there's nothing you can do. Because when people, especially when they put their money where their mouth is, you know what I mean? That makes a big difference. JB808. Yeah. Does anyone on here know how you make the letters on StreamYard bigger? Because they're really tiny today. They're like itty bitty. And that's not good for me. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you do it. Ooh, wow. Uh-oh. Okay. I thought that was it. It had a little setting thing, but that wasn't it. Magic Cameramaid. Hello. Let them eat bagels and cream cheese. All right. Magnify the area. Magnify. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. It doesn't have that on my thing. Uh-oh, now what? See anything on this page with Google Lens? I don't want this. Okay, Tori, I looked it up on Google. It said go to Style tab in the band section of your studio, then select a new font from the drop-down menu. Okay, the band section. The brand section. Okay, I don't know where that is. That's my unfortunate thing. I don't know most of this stuff. It's a new computer that I got thanks to all of you. And font. Yeah, I gotcha. I got you. I just don't know where the brand section of my studio is. And I can't do it while you guys are on here, because then I'll lose you. So don't worry about it. I can kind of read it. I don't know StreamYard. Yeah. Okay. It's all right. It's fine. So anyway, with free speech, Scientology, they really pitch that they have free speech. And, the first course that they used to sell was IONYX. Thank you. The first course that they used to sell was the communication course. Now I think they do the PTSSP, which they literally declare people suppressive. This is my SP declare. Many people don't have them anymore. They used to have them pinned up on the wall so you could go read everybody's horrible things. But now I got mine because I wanted it, and Jesse Prince had told me now they don't give them out anymore. So I made it one of my projects was to get mine, and I got it. Thank you, Kelly. But Scientology, they declare people suppressive if they say anything. If they say or do anything that they consider as a suppressive act. Calling the police is a suppressive act, believe it or not. So someone can rape you, and that's okay in their world, but you can't call the police about it. No, that's a high crime. So it's kind of unbelievable that they get away with being a church, because they're really a covert, mind control, fraudulent business pretending to be a religion. They're definitely a business. They charge for everything. And they won't talk to anyone. They won't talk to us. Drew and I were there Friday night. And there's a you can see at the end of the picket. I mean, if at the end of the video, if you scroll down to the end, you'll see they're having an ice cream social, and we can never, ever, ever, do anything. We used to walk around down the street, and the security guards would be there with right next to us and bugging us and stuff like that. You can't do that anymore. That's because of Style Audit or Audit LA, I think it is, and Will. Those and Laura, they've all been going down to the city council and talking to them, especially I think it's Style Audit, or is it Audit LA? I think it's Audit LA. She and Will have been going every week for a year. And now the result of that, and it doesn't sound like much to the normal average person. So to you guys, it wouldn't be that much. But to Drew and I, who used to protest, and we know how they used to be, it's unbelievable. I mean, we literally went and sat on one of their benches right next to their ice cream social, and nothing happened. Not one security guard came up. Not one security guard said anything. They can't. And why can't they? Because she brought up they don't even get paid minimum wage. So rather than pay them minimum wage, they just keep them away from us. So stupid. Hey, Dawn Walks LA. Hi. I didn't even see him come in. Let me see. Oh, there you go. I missed you, Tori. Why is there no purple in your hair? Because I washed it. Let me see. There is purple. See, there's some purple. There's not much. I have to get it done. This is how it is way at the end. It's like almost faded out. So see, I've got it pulled back. So you see there is some purple, but not much. I got to get it done. It's time. Okay, so let me check these new comments. Sorry, I missed a couple. Tori had her story out before Aaron. I had my story out years before Aaron. I escaped out in 2000 and started speaking out in 2000. So Aaron, I don't even know what year he came, but I think it was not long ago. It certainly wasn't around 2000. I like that woman, Tori. Thank you. I do too. Anyway, I've been speaking out for a long time, for 25 years. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out. So good to see you. It's good to see you too, Dan. You should have come to the ice cream social. It was really fun. It really was. It was fun to be able to be around them, and they couldn't do anything. I mean, it's dramatic what these guys have brought about. It's really, really important. So, hi, John. I have so many Johns in my life. It's unbelievable. And just the letter J, I have in my phone, it's like a whole bunch. But anyway, good to see you and good to see everybody. So Dan Walks LA, are you still walking around? Have you been walking around? I haven't seen your videos. Usually they pop up, but I haven't seen them. Have you been doing them, or what's up? Fill us in. I like the throwback protesting photos you posted of yourself and others from 2012. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, those kind of popped up, and I thought, well, I'll put them on TikTok. I think that's where I put them, right? I'm pretty sure. They're kind of fun to see because they're the old videos of how we used to protest with signs and protest signs and stuff like that. We were out there for hours. It was funny when Anonymous came. A section of Anonymous took on the Church of Scientology, and they had tons of signs. It was amazing. Oh yeah, TikTok. Okay, good. I fear the public may never have an answer for Shelley. Well, I will have to wait and see on that. It's one of those things. Have you seen Anna Maud? I don't know who Anna Maud is. Have you seen Anna Maud? Is that how you spell it? Anna Maud? I don't know who that is. So no. Is it a movie? I don't know. I don't think I've seen it though. Doesn't ring a bell. Whether it's a person or a movie. You have to let me know though. JB808, it's fun having you on the TikTok. It really is. All right, Marcy. Please consider supporting Tori. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Thank you. And I'll tell you where you can get, like, if you go into this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but here's a thing for Cash App. Here's a thing for PayPal, which DOA set that up and he spelled my name wrong, but that's the way it is. Here's Zelle and here's Venmo. There you go. And those are all under banners or, that's right, I lost all you guys. There you go. And, or they're underneath Tori Magoo 44. There's for more about Tori and they're underneath there. But thank you, Marcy, for mentioning that. I appreciate it. Oh, there you go. She put them all up there. JB808, I still don't know how to use TikTok. I don't either. I don't really either. Or view lives unless the stream's literally. I think what happens, this is what someone told me. So I don't know it personally. Oh, wait, let me get the Venmo thing off here. Okay, there we go. But someone told me that the lives, you can go on live on TikTok, but as soon as it's done, it's gone. That's what I've been told. Now, Marcy, I don't know if you know it, or Kelly, if she's on, if she knows it. I don't really, I'm learning about TikTok myself. So I don't know that either, but somebody told me that because I was the same. I was like, well, where are all the live stream things? And they said, as soon as you make the live, that's how long it lasts. And then it's gone. Okay, Kelly said, Tori, no way to make the font bigger without an upgrade in StreamYard. But you can click the comment to go up on the screen where you can see it bigger. Nah. It was bigger. I've been using this for months. Yeah, I see it. I've been using it for months, and it has been bigger. I'll get Bunker on. He knows this computer more than I do, and he'll be able to figure it out. Because I know there's a way to have it bigger because it's been bigger for months since I bought it. It just got really tiny now. So TikTok is awful. I hope that thing gets banned. Well, they're in the negotiation thing of bringing it over to America. So it'll be 80, I think it's 80% American to 20% Chinese. That's what I think. You can do it on YouTube too. Yeah, that's the other thing I might do is just skip over there. Good thinking. If you go to TikTok and search for Tori Chrisman 44, that's right, or Tori Magoo 44, either one. That's me. I've been Tori Magoo 44 since 2008 when we started our YouTube site. And Mark Bunker brought me a webcam and I said, what is that? And he said, it's from Anonymous. They gave it to you. And I said, what's it for? And he said, well, we're going to make videos. And I said, what are we going to do with those? And he said, well, we're going to put them on your YouTube site. And I said, I don't have a YouTube site. And he said, I know, we're going to make one. So we made one. Tori Magoo 44 has a YouTube site. And that was my first video, was me and Mark. And then we went to the picket and did the protest with Anonymous. I'll have to look and see if that's still on there. It's a fun video. Yep. Thank you, Marcy. Either one of those work, yeah, for TikTok. And YouTube, I think, is just Tori Magoo 44. But you can Google Tori Chrisman and all kinds of stuff comes up. And of course, Scientology's tried to spam my name unsuccessfully. Thank you, Scientology. They've actually kept me active. Many times I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm quitting. I've had enough of this. And then they do some shit. And I think, no, that's not okay, either for me or someone else. Hi, Laura. Freedom of speech. That's right. That's right. And they're big on stopping free speech in many different ways. They have their ethics, which is basically supposed to be helping you, and it really molds you to think the way they want you to think. Thank you, Kelly. Hey, Dylan Chatterton. I'm incredible. Well, I'm persistent. I'll tell you that. Thank you. I don't know that I don't feel incredible, but I do feel persistent. They should have known that about me, because I'd been around for a long time when I left, 30 years. So they knew me inside and out, and they keep doing their shit. I told them, I said I was going to quit, but then you flattened my tires and I'm back. I was going to quit another time, and I came out from work and they had sprayed my rearview mirror, half of it pink. And by then, because I knew they were doing fair game on me, which was Hubbard's thing of you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy someone utterly, right? If they speak out against them. So they were doing all kinds of stuff against me. And so because of that, I started including my community. And I went over to pep buyers because I knew they were always flattening my tires and scratching my car and stuff like that. So I said, I want to talk to one guy. And I talked to this one guy and I explained Scientology and fair game. And I said, if they do stuff, I want to be able to bring it over to you and then you see what you think. And he said, okay, bring it by. So I go to work, I come out one day and half of my rearview mirror is painted pink. And as I'm driving along thinking, this is weird. Is this a gang? Is it Scientology? It's very weird. And the whole mirror falls off. So they broke my mirror. So I go over to Pep Boys and I get the guy and I say, I want to talk to him. He comes out and I explain what happened. And he goes, all right, let me look. I'll look and see. And he opens the door. Thank you very much, Dave. He opens the door and he goes like this. It's the Church of Scientology. I said, how do you know? And he said, because you have a really good radio and a gang would take your radio. You have bags in the back seat filled with stuff. A gang would have taken that. So there you go. Hey, thank you, Marcy. Thank you very much. You just gifted me 5 memberships. That's nice. Thank you. It was very kind of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Marcy's our new moderator, just so anybody knows. If you weren't there the other night when I mentioned it, I'll have to keep mentioning it so everybody gets it. But she's our moderator for right now, and Kelly is when she can. All right. But thank you, Dan. That was a very nice compliment. Freedom of speech. That's right. You and I know. I always say I'm against yelling, except for Laura. She can yell as loud as she wants, as long as she wants. Because if my dad was in Scientology, I would be out there yelling just like you. So I understand it. But for other people that are just screaming their lungs out, I know from being a Scientologist and being sent out to handle people that are screaming, it's not an effective way. It just isn't. You can think, oh, they're hearing it inside. No, they're not. They're not. They're all trained. This is a free speech thing. They're trained to shut that kind of thing down. Don't listen to N theta. They call it, theta is you as spirit, or anybody, they're considered thetans. And so theta is good. N theta is negative. And anything, any N theta, you're not supposed to listen to. So, I mean, you can even see some people, they'll be like, la, 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 la. If you try to talk to them, So, I mean, it's real brainwashing. I'm telling you, it's Laura knows. She knows. So she can scream in my mind because she has a reason to. Her dad is inside there who won't even talk to her, which is pathetic, Osa. That is just pathetic that you won't let a child, a daughter, have her father come out and talk to her is just pathetic. And all of us are going to be here for her. That's how it is. We stand up for each other. That's it. Okay, so thank you, Kelly. And thank you, Marcy. That was very kind. So Tori has affordable membership packages for everyone's budget. Starting at $2.99 a month. There you go. That's good. Laura, you killed it at the police council meeting today. Oh, good. Good job. I was just telling them about that you guys have been doing that. Thank you, Dave. Ooh, there's my stuff. All right, now let's see. Oh, Laura, Peter Mansell. I don't know Peter Mansell. Laura FM. This is Verbal Tech, Tori. That's right. That's another one. Verbal Tech. And verbal tech is against the law. That's not okay either. And that's just where, like I'm explaining to you, what was I explaining about? I forgot. I was just talking to him about free speech and how, I don't know. I forgot what I was talking about because you threw in a verbal tech. What was it? What was it that I was talking about? You're welcome from Laura. Could you imagine? No, it's hard to imagine that people go through all the amount of shit that we went through. I mean, whether you're in the Sea Org, which Laura was, or me, public, very different worlds, but very suppressive stuff happening to both of us in different ways, very different ways. But basically, I was on the data evaluators course, Laura, right before I woke up. And you had to find the why in the group. That was one of the parts of it. And I realized Scientology is the why. That's it. They're it. It isn't us. It isn't the critics out there. It isn't, the SPs or whatever. It's Scientology. They're the most suppressive group on the planet. They really are. They're pretty bad news. All right, not telling them, talking to us, family, disconnection, and how they control their way of thinking and their own speech. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about. And that is not free speech. It isn't. And you could say it's verbal tech all you want, but verbal tech is just me explaining to you. And you know what, Laura? I don't even know if you know this. You may know it, but you may not. I know a lot of Sea Org guys who didn't know it and a lot of public who didn't know it. But in the 90s, they used to put on seminars, and you used to go anywhere and you'd see Scientologists giving these lectures about Scientology. But a bunch of critics went in to see a judge, and they said, look, this person explains ARC that way. This person says that. This person says that. So we, the critics, the independents, people that still believe in the tech, but we're out of the church, we can give our own talk about it. And they said, you're right. So now in the Church of Scientology, before you can give a speech about something, you have to go through all these channels, and everything has to be written up per L. Ron Hubbard until it gets to issue authority. They okay it, then it comes back down, and then you can go give the talk. So you never see hardly anybody give talks anymore. because of that. How they don't hear the yelling? Because it's mind control. You have to understand it's not a matter of auditory that they can't hear. It's a matter of mentally they're shut off from listening to it. You understand? I'm here, everybody. You can relax now. That always cracks me up when you say that. Thank you. Does that make sense? Vicky, does that make sense to you? That how they don't hear yelling? I mean, you could be right next to them yelling at them and they won't hear it. I was. They would send me out to handle 50, 60 people that were out there protesting and screaming at me, and I never heard a word. It's like plexiglass, just down, like, no, I'm not listening to this. I never heard any of it. One guy, I've told this story a million times. One guy came up and he very nicely said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Sure." And he said, "If you're free, why can't you read certain books?" And I know most of you have heard this story, but because she asked that question, I want to say it again. And so I said, "Well, I can read whatever I want. I just don't want to read certain books." And he said, "Okay, thank you." And he walked away. He was very nice, very gracious, very gentle. And you have to understand, like, voices are like music, where it might not go to your brain, but it'll go to your heart, right? Just like music will go to your heart. And so people can hear kindness. It goes into their heart and they can feel it. So that guy was very kind to me. And so he came back again and he said, "I still got to ask you that question again. I'm sorry." I said, "No, it's okay. What's up?" And he said, "Well, it's just if you're free, why can't you read certain books?" And again, he wasn't going like, "Why can't you read certain books?" Which is what a lot of people that are being critics talk that way. And it's sort of like, do you think I'm going to hear that? No. Answer, nobody. They're not going to hear it. But if you're nice to them, that's a different thing because they don't have a lot of niceness in Scientology. So it does kind of, like, Laura, you'll appreciate this. Remember that, well, it's probably before your time, but they had the HAS was before the IAS. It was the Hubbard Association of Scientology International. And it was, I think, $500 for a lifetime membership. Oh, Hazy. It was HAS, the Hazy membership. That's right. And so one day I'm walking down L. Ron Hubbard Way, and normally no one will ever stop or talk to me, ever. So I'm walking down the street, and this Sea Org lady walks by me, and I said, "Whatever happened to the Hazy membership?" And she goes like this, "Hazy membership?" And you could tell she went back in time and thought about it for just a little bit, not long, but it was interesting to see that communicated. Do you see what I mean? Kelly says, "No chance." No chance what? I have a natural gift of being able to tune people out. No courses needed. Yeah, I think we all do on that one, but I'm just trying to explain it to people that are trying to talk to people that are trained in that to not do it. Except me, J-Boo. Yeah, no chance. All right. Kelly, thank you for joining us today. Yeah, if you have a question or comment you'd like, please type the word question or comment. Thank you. Thank you, Marcy. I'm so happy you're here. I really am. You and Kelly, it's wonderful. JB808, my husband has that ability, and maybe it's just for me. I think most husbands have that ability. I really do. And we have the opposite. And Montcalm Horror. Ooh, I've heard how busy and hopping. It used to be around the Hollywood Org on Sundays, and it's so dead mostly now. There, I know it was jumping in the complex. The same thing, Celebrity Center. I mean, when I hitchhiked from Chicago to Asho in 1969, there were at least 50 people outside of Asho for a half an hour after course it ended, because they just wanted to hang out and talk to each other, and they were all talking about tech and this and that, and I don't know. It was really fascinating back then. They were really interesting people and nice people, and it was such a different thing. It was a lot of fun. Like Yvonne used to say, if it isn't fun, it isn't Scientology. Well, you can't say that now. You can't say that. It just would. No one would ever say it. They wouldn't, because it isn't fun. They lost that concept long ago. But yeah, you're right. It was jumping all over. It really was. It was really happening. And it was like Celebrity Center had musicians and artists and singers and all kinds of fun stuff. So that was great. At Asho, they had professors and doctors and all kinds of cool people, as well as just neat people. But it was a fun group of people. Marcia said she agrees about the husbands. The ears are sold separately. That's a good one. Private number calling me. I'm not going to answer it. We know who that is. Ain't going to happen, Osa. No, thank you. I heard they rent out parking spots. My friend, his friend used to work at Kaiser. And that's how we found that out. Because I said, what's the deal with all the parking lots are filled all the time? And he said, that's us. They let us park there. Because they want it filled up. So it looks like, wow, Scientology is really jumping. No, it's Kaiser. All right. No, decline. All right, I'm going to turn this off now. And now I know how to turn it off. Okay, power off. There you go. There you go. So you can't keep calling me. Neener. Oh, wait, I got one other one I have to unplug so that I know you can't. So someone in here tonight, when we end off, will you remind me to plug in my phone? Because that's my home phone. And I have it unplugged now, so they can't call me on anything. Now, how can that be? Stop it. Okay, power off means... Okay, now they're shutting it down. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If it's fun, it isn't Scientology. That's pretty true now. It's kind of true. But isn't that amazing that used to be we said it all the time, because it was a fun place to be back in the day. That's why on TikTok all the time the kids go, 30 years? How could you be in something for 30 years? And I have to say, look, 20 of the 30 were actually really good, believe it or not. It was a different thing. Why am I laughing? Laura, well, you weren't in it in 1969, so you can laugh. Or are you laughing about me and my phone? Which is it? Do you get blocked phone calls all day and night, or only when only when I'm going live now? Pretty much. They used to call me all the time, but I got hip to that, and I started answering Xenu headquarters. Can I help you? And that was the end of that. Because I know they use the young kids, and they don't want them hearing that word. I had a local masonry building right down the street. It's now a Haitian worship. Wow. Oh, yeah, tonight is Rosh Hashanah, so Happy New Year to anyone that is Jewish. Unclick the comment on the screen. Oh, okay, how do I do that? I think Kelly has to do it. I don't know how to unclick it. I'm going up to try to find it. Well, oh, yeah. There's one. Okay. All right. Cool. There. Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate it. Marcy Pocus. Impocus. Sieglin, hi. Happy Skibidi. All right. I don't know what Skibidi is. Thank you, Tori. I do celebrate Rosh Hashanah. Okay, cool. Yeah, tonight's the night, right? What do you do exactly tonight for Rosh Hashanah? I love some of the Jewish traditions. I really do. I think they're fantastic. My favorite one was when my roommate here passed away. Drew, who is Jewish, came and did, is it called Seder? Where they come for 8 days, and he came for 8 days and spent the time with me. It meant so much to me. It was like, oh my God, what a great tradition that is. I love that. It's so thoughtful. Yeah, hocus pocus. I love that. Makes it easy. Hi, Adcock71. Welcome. Yes, tonight. You went to the temple with my dad. Oh, that's nice. That's wonderful. I bet your dad really appreciated that you went with him too. Well, tell him we send our love. Hanukkah, that's 8 days. Yeah, but that isn't. No, I'm not talking about Hanukkah. I was talking about. I think it's called Seder. It's after someone passes away, and you come for 8 days. But it's not Hanukkah. Hanukkah's like around Christmas time. Well, I'm not Haitian, but I was agreeing with you, Tori, that the Masons had very few cars. Really? Did I say that? I missed that comment. I didn't even know that the Masons have few cars. Yeah, thank you for giving the memberships out, Marcy. That was really kind. It's called sitting Shiva. That's it, Shiva. What did I say? Seder. Yeah, it's Shiva. That's it. Thank you. It's so beautiful. It really is. I mean, I was so appreciative of Drew doing that because he'd never told me about that. And it just, my roommate, who we both loved, just, we knew he was going to pass away, and then he did. And then Drew was there every day afterwards for 8 days. I think it was 8 days. It was really cool. I thought, what a cool thing. I'll be watching for Jimmy Kimmel. No, it's tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Before you've been, I have. I went, no, I went to Bill Maher. I went and saw Bill Maher. I was on the Newlywed Game and the Let's Make a Deal. And I won both of the game shows. So that was fun. Grifter watch. That's funny. Okay, you said that, Onyx. Oh, I see. You said it, and then he's answering to you. I see. Because I didn't remember mentioning about they don't have cars. I didn't know that. Hey, Jurgen. Anna Paddock, OSA operative, puts postulates on people and dogs to choke them and to restimulate the implants from OT3 that created asthma. I'm just going to tell you this. I really don't want to talk about that. It's not anything to do with free speech. It's everything to do with something that somebody's passing around and they keep bringing it up to me and I don't care. It isn't that I don't care that she's doing it. If she is, I don't really think it's true. I don't think there are OTs that have any powers like that. So I really don't. I don't think I just think it's bogus. And it's just a way of, OSA's number one thing is distraction. That's what it is. Try to keep it off of any topic that means anything that might make them look bad. Whereas this is just, we look like a bunch of nutballs. And it's not, I never saw that. I never saw anybody do anything like that when I was in Scientology. And I'm not saying I'm standing up for Scientology. I'm just saying I'm not going to take on stuff that I think is just BS. Unfortunately, there's no free speech at the moment. No, that's not right. Danny, the people spoke. Over $4 billion was lost by Disney in a week, in less than a week. Wednesday to today at 3:00, which is Monday. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 6 days. In 6 days, we turned it around. And a lot of people canceled their memberships with Disney, canceled trips with Disney, all kinds of stuff. And ABC got with Jimmy Kimmel, and they talked it out, and he's coming back tomorrow night. So there you go. So I know that they're trying to suppress that, but that's not going to happen. It's in our Constitution, and it's just like we, the people, like the founding fathers said, it's over to the people. It's up to us. You can't just say, oh, free speech is gone in America. No. No. Okay, now, there's definitely free speech. If you've ever lived in a country where there isn't any free speech, you would know that statement is not true. That was so nice of Drew. I know, it really was. It really, really was. He's a wonderful guy. He really is. He and his wife, they're both really cool. Okay, now, Jewish New Year. That's right. Happy New Year. Danny, he's here. The man about town. Next time Scientology calls you, put them on speaker. They don't say anything. That's the point. They call and never say anything. That's why I started the Xenu headquarters. Can I help you? Because they never say anything. So once I say Xenu headquarters, can I help you? They hang up every time. Every time. So that's my little thing. So no, I'm not going to put them on speaker because it just gives them more airtime, that they'll count as statistics. That's the weird thing. They would count that as a statistic. It's pathetic. Hi, Danny. Thompson. Oh, you're right. Okay. That's awesome. You won on a game show. I know. On the Newlywed Game, we went on it as a joke. We were living at Celebrity Center, which was the Manor Hotel at the time. And you had to go down to the front reception to get your mail. So we were down there, and a friend of ours was there, and he got a camera. And I said, hey, where'd you get that from? And he said, oh, we went on the Newlywed Game, and this is a concession prize you get if you just go on the show. So I said to my husband, let's go on. He said, you've got a year to do it from when you get married. I said, let's do it. We'll get a camera. We don't have a camera. Let's go on. So we go on it with the intention to win a camera. That was really, get it as a concession prize. But we won. And it said, if you win, what do you want? And I said, a grand piano. And so we won a trailer camper and a year's supply of rose milk skin cream, Shasta Cola, and some other thing that nobody wanted. So they show up with these cases at your house of here's this, here's that, and you can say you don't want it, too bad. So from then on, anybody who'd come to my house, I'd say, here's a case of Shasta Cola. They'd say, I don't want it. And I'd say, I don't care. You're taking it and you can give it to your neighbors, throw it out, do what you want, but I got to get rid of this stuff. here's skin cream, So there was that. And the trailer camper we had to get rid of because Celebrity Center was going to charge us $200 a week to park it in their garage. And we were like, forget it. So we just took it back to the owner, whoever we asked Newlywed where they got it. And we took it back there and just got the sale price of it, what the wholesale price was. But it was still something. It was some money. So there you go on that. And then Let's Make a Deal was a game show I went on after the Olympics. And I'd been selling hats, flags, buttons, Olympic souvenirs. In 2 weeks, I made $4,000, which doesn't sound like that much now. But in 1984, that was a lot of money. And it was $4,000 in cash. So I really enjoyed it. And then I wasn't going to go to Let's Make a Deal. I was going to go to NBC to see Johnny Carson. But the people that were going to come with me didn't show up, and they wanted the ticket. So I went anyway. I'd never seen it. So I thought, all right, I'll go. So I went. And then afterwards, the Let's Make a Deal guy came in, and he said, we really need an audience. We don't have any. So I went, and I'd never seen it. And everybody was all dressed up in these kooky outfits and stuff. And I thought, okay, what is this? And so I went home and I thought everybody was taking my picture during the Olympics because I had buttons and flags on my head and all kinds of stuff. And so I came back in that outfit and I got picked and I won. So that was cool. Okay, no, wait. I think I have a picture of Tori on that game show. Yeah, there's one in my photos. There is of me with the flags on my head and everything. You can look, if she can't put it up here, you can look at my pictures. It's in there. Didn't we show it once? Yeah, I think you probably did. Way cool, Kelly. Would love to see it. I can find it if she wants to show it. Yeah, sure. I don't mind. It's fine. If you can find it. I just don't know how to do it while I'm on here. I don't know how to. Wait, really? Good for Disney. I also canceled my membership. Yeah, good for you. So now if you want, you can get it again because they ironed it all out. Disney has already lost a lot of business. They have. They really have. Before this anyway. Oh, really? I canceled Hulu. Wow. But now watch Kimmel's behavior change. Well, we'll see. Thompsons, are they owned by? Yeah, ABC. Disney is owned by ABC. And Kimmel is on ABC. So, yeah. Kelly, I'm trying to remember, was it Bunky's Live? And they were talking about the game show. It's on my regular Facebook site, Kelly. If you just want to go there under my photos, it's in there. And I think, yeah. I think so, yeah. What he said was wrong, completely wrong. Okay, people can say things that are wrong, though. See, that's the point of free speech. It's like the fact that you say something wrong doesn't mean you should lose your job over it. It's like you can talk it out with your owner or the boss or whatever, but that's the point of free speech, is that you have a right to say what you think, even if it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong, and they can have him do something, but they don't have to fire him over it. That's my opinion. Yes, they are part of Disney. Yeah. Well, they're not a part of Disney. ABC owns Disney. I live about 2 blocks from them, so I know the whole deal on this. I watched it all grow up. When we moved here in 82, Disney was just a dirt road. You could hardly tell it was Disney. I didn't even know it was Disney. My husband said, that's Disney. And I said, no way. No way. And he said, no, it is. Look down. I'm going to drive up to this road. and look down it and you'll see the water tower that says Disney. And I did. I said, you're right. So then when they built the AMC here, that's when everything exploded here, and Disney included, where they just really built up. And then ABC bought Disney, and it was like, oh my God, are you serious? I couldn't believe it. I always thought Disney would run the world. Xenu headquarters, can I help you? That's right. I know it's a good one, isn't it? It really works. If you ever have people calling you and they're not answering, and who cares? I mean, if they're telemarketers and they hang up, okay, they're telemarketers and they hang up. To me, it was like, because some people are like, well, maybe they're not Scientologists. And I'm like, okay, somebody who's calling me and they won't say anything, they don't have the respect that, you're giving them. To me, it's like, fine, it's still Xenu headquarters. Can I help you? I think so, JB. I shared the screen and threw them both out of the screen. Hey! Host Tom Kelly, if I remember right. You mean for Let's Make a Deal? No. It's a regular, it was the old, if you said his name, I'd know it, but it's the really famous guy that was on for a long time. That's hysterical, Tori, about what you want. I know. It was really, I'll tell you, it's really even weirder if you want to. Do you want to hear the story? Because the story is really incredible. But if you don't want to hear it, it's fine. Let me know if you do. Fascinating to me. All right. Me too. All right. Do you still have the video of the newlywed? No, I don't, unfortunately. And I've tried to find it because, they have a lot of stuff on YouTube for years past. I've also tried to find my dad because he played football in 49 and 50, but with the leather helmets and everything. Someone finally sent me a video of him playing football, and it's almost like soccer. It was very different back then than it is now. But no, I never had a video of it. I never did. 4,000. Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you. It was really awesome from 1984. And I was everywhere. I was all over the town. So this is the funny thing that happened. A couple of things. The guy that got me into it was a Scientologist, naturally ripping me off and said that every flag is going to cost you $2.50. And I said, $2.50? What am I going to sell it for? And he said, oh, you can sell it for $4.50. Oh, there's the picture. All right, now how do I do this? Nope, that didn't work. Ooh, it came on for a minute. There you go. That's me with that's me at the Olympics. Hats, flags, buttons, Olympic souvenirs. So the guy sells me those flags, not those little ones, but bigger ones, big American flags. And he says they're $250 each, they'll be $450. So I'm down at the Coliseum, and it's at night, and I'm going Olympic flags, $450. And this little black kid across the street is going Olympic flags, $250. And after a few times, I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? And so I go back and I go, wait a minute, you're selling these for $250? I'm buying them for $2.50. And he goes, lady, you're getting ripped off. And I said, I thought so. I said, look, if I pay you some money, will you take me to your supplier? And he goes, sure. So he takes me over to the supplier. I give him the money. He leaves. And the supplier, I explain it to him, what I just told you. And he goes, yeah, he's ripping you off. He goes, I'll tell you what. I have the rights to these Olympic flags. So I'm going to sell them to him for a while. But right before the end of the Olympics, when they really can make money, I'm cutting them off for doing that to you. And I thought, all right, that's fair. So he's selling me the flags. I'm selling them. And it starts out with flags and hats. And you could see, I started selling these hats, and I had bumper stickers on my arm. I was selling pins, these stupid pins, and, just all kinds of goofy stuff. And I ended up, what happened is, what happened is, I don't know how to get me back. There we go. What happened is, downtown, by the night, I had so much cash, these security guards would come by and say, look, you can't walk to your car with that much money on you. So we'll walk with you. And I'd say, okay. And you can pick anything you want on me and take it. So I'd give them a hat, a flag, a button, every night. But we had found out all the buses, just like anywhere where they have a big event, they're busing people in on Vermont. Here downtown, it goes Vermont, then the Coliseum, and then on the other side was this other street, and they were selling all these booths for $5,000 a booth on the other side of the whole Coliseum. So it's the Coliseum, a bunch of land, and then that street, and then across the street are the $5,000 things. So we all said, screw that, let's just go on Vermont, because we were walking, you know what I mean? So it was just like, we're just walking back and forth, selling these hats, flags, buttons, Olympic souvenirs. So we made a ton, and they had to pay a ton because you have to pay to have one of those booths. But anyway, finally they call the FBI. Somebody ratted us out, and I'm going into swimming down there, and I've got American flags in one hand and Olympic flags in the other hand. And this guy comes up to me and flashes his badge, and he says, FBI, you're under arrest. And I look at him and I go, are you kidding me? I am selling American flags and Olympic flags, and basically put out the picture like, do you want to go on Oprah and tell her that you were trying to arrest me for selling flags? And the guy goes, all right, just go. And so I did. And they arrested somebody else. They did. Because, a lot of times people don't stand up for themselves, and you have to stand up for yourself. So anyway, it was a fun time. And then afterwards, I went on the Let's Make a Deal, and there they give a certain amount of people a ticket, and then you're in the little area where they're going to let you win, maybe win something. So I'm in line there, and the lady in front of me and her daughter are really pissed. And I hear that they got second place the day before. So I said, I don't mean to be offensive, but can I ask you a question? And they said, yeah, what? And I said, if she came in second yesterday, why are you so ticked off? And they said, well, you don't know the whole story. And I said, well, you know what? We've got about an hour, so I'm okay if you want to tell me. And so they tell me, and they said, you won't believe it. She's about ready to pick door number 1, let's say. And this girl that works there shows up and says, pick door number 2. And so she believes her. And she picks door number 2. And door number 1 was a car. And so they were pissed. They were there to get their car. I don't think anything happened with it, but it was in my head. So now, you win certain things and then you go on, and, like a bunch of them kept the money. And I said, well, I'll keep playing because I figured, I came with nothing. I'll go with nothing. And so I keep playing. And finally it's me and this other guy, and it cuts to commercial. And this girl walks up to me and she goes, pick door number 2. Real quiet. She says to me, pick door number 2. And I said, well, what is it? And she goes, well, try Europe. She doesn't say it is Europe. She says, try Europe. So now I'm thinking, okay, is she lying to me? Is she telling me the truth? Can we go to Europe? We both were working, my husband and I, and I had my son in school. It was just sort of like our son, it was just like, what the hell? So then I thought, all right, just forget everything and pick the door that you think you should pick. So I picked door number 3, and that was the grand piano. I won the grand prize. Woo! So that was that. That was but if you're in LA, I really recommend it. Even people that are nearby, come up and go to one of their game shows, because it's not that hard to win. It's not. I mean, some of them are hard, but hey, Dave Gibbons, hi. Sorry, you came in the middle of my story. And this is Marcy, who's our new moderator, and Kelly, who will be on and off. And this is Dave Gibbons, who lives in Australia and is my dear friend from online. Just finished 6 hours of yard work. Wow. You bet you're pooped. Boy, what were you doing with 6 hours of yard work? I mean, I get mowing and trimming and stuff like that, but after that, what else? Oh, wow, that's a lot of yard work. It is. That is. Woo. Man. But Charlie... Okay, but I'm not for the guy that got killed. I'm not saying that's okay. I'm not. And neither was Jimmy. So I'm just saying they're very different things. Someone murdering someone is not right. And Jimmy agrees with us. So I'm just saying he's mentioning a comment about it is protected by free speech in our Constitution. Walt Disney's old house is in Toluca Lake? Is it really? Where? You'll have to tell me, Marie. I'd love to go there, and I'm near Toluca Lake. The free speech thing in the U.S. is just mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing to me. All right. In what way, Dave? It's important. Sorry if you don't have it. All right. Monty Hall. Okay. I want to hear it. Okay. We have it in Australia. I was referring to the current state of the free speech in the U.S. I know. It's really unbelievable that it's gotten so twisted by who. But it really has. But I was happy to see the people finally stood up. And like some of the people here said they canceled their memberships. Good. It's like that's the kind of thing that money talks, bullshit walks, and it's sort of like they came around. I mean, in less than a week, they lost over $4 billion. That's a lot of money. I think Tom Kennedy was newlywed game. No, that's not him. That's not who was with me anyway. Thank you, Marcy. Dave, this is my Let's Make a Deal picture. That was me on Let's Make a Deal. I wore that was me actually at the Olympics, but selling hats, flags, buttons, Olympic souvenirs. But afterwards, I went on Let's Make a Deal and wore that outfit and won. I won a grand piano and $2,000 in cash. All right. Every morning when I go online to see what's happening, it's like, here's your morning outrage. I know. It is. That's how we are too. It's like every day. You have incidents of people losing their jobs over things they say in Australia too. Really? It's everywhere. Wow. Maybe it's not really something I've seen here. Yeah, I don't know that. Well, I don't know. We've had different things. I don't remember. The two nurses, guy and a woman. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Montcalm Horror. I don't remember the two nurses, guy and a woman. Thank you, Marcy. We can get arrested for Nazi salutes. Wow, we have that kind of thing. Wow, that's pretty intense. What is the tag that says your name? Let's look. Well, this may be the Let's Make a Deal thing then. Yeah, it says Tori Bizazian. That was my married name. Yeah, so that was probably from Let's Make a Deal. So that's what I think, because I don't think I wore a name tag while I was down selling. The old parody trick, everybody pays the fool, no exception to the rule. Anyway, enough about politics. I'm trying to listen to Tori. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Okay, you can find the videos on here about them. Definitely made world news. Yeah, I don't agree with what they said. Okay, well, anyway, I agree with Dave. I've been basically talking about free speech and how Scientology stops free speech. And obviously, America hasn't done really great this year, but we're coming around now. Great story. Thank you, Onyx. Thank you, Dave. I like when Kelly is here with me. Me too. Me too. I like it when both of you are here and when all of you are here. It's really great. And it's free to get in. Thompson. True. Jenny and I are repaving the patio by the pool and putting in drainage. You're doing that by yourselves? That is impressive, Dave. Wow, that's really impressive. Oh, that's a lot of work, Dave Gibbons. It sounds like it'll be great. Yeah, I think so too. What's the purple crown with the number 1 that some people have next to their name? I don't know. So Kelly or Marcy will have to explain that, or anyone else who knows. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Don't forget to hit the like button. That's right. That's true. Hey, Tori and chat. A voice down under. Ooh. Don't piss Kelly off. Hit the like button. JB808, you clown. Hey, a voice down under. A voice down under, which country are you in? Hey, T. JB808. I think that's about free speech in Oz. Ah. Well, that's good. Thank you. I know it's kind of weird when you get in an environment where you're used to free speech and then they don't have it. Like I've been over in TikTok and there's all kinds of words that you can't say Amazon. You have to say unalived versus shh. You can't say, there's just all kinds of words now that they have that you can't say. I'm glad it's coming over to America. Hopefully they'll not be as weird. There are major free speech protests going on in Paris. Wow, too. Wow. It's getting crazy. Let's not hope free speech. Let's just hope free speech wins in the end. It has to. It has to. It's not a matter of let's hope it does. No. It has to. That's the way I feel. It's like I'm very, very strong about free speech. And it's like it will. There's more of us than there are. I don't care how much money these guys have. They're not. I think it'll work out. It will. I have trained JB well, Kelly. I don't think we have free speech in Australia, but we have freedom of expression. Okay, fair enough. There's no free speech. Yeah, there's none. That's right. None. And boy, do you find out about it when you get out. That's the other thing. For people lurking, you think you have free speech when you're in Scientology. I did. I really did. I had no idea how bad it is. It's unbelievable. Not one person in the Church of Scientology has ever asked me or heard my story from me to them. Ever. I was in it for 30 years. I've been out for 25. And not one time has one Scientologist ever said, you know what, Tori, what happened with you? Why did you leave? I mean, to me, it's such an obvious thing. Ask them. I told Mike Rinder that when he was still in. I said, come out and talk to these people. They have things to say. Not that we will go back in, but maybe they could revamp things so more people wouldn't leave. If they had listened to us in 2000, think of how many people probably wouldn't have left if they had really listened and changed some things. But they never even listened. So there you go. And good on us, because there's more people out here. So that's better. Me 3 for both y'all. My sister was on To Tell the Truth. All right, and won $500. There you go. Way to go. You're in Perth, Australia. Okay. I used to be called Perth Scientology Audit, and I'm normally referred to as T. I think I remember hearing T, the voice down under. You can't say Amazon on TikTok? Nope. There's a whole bunch of words you can't say anymore, just as of last week. We're pretty strict on what we can say here. For example, you can't stand outside a business and say stuff that's defamatory. Okay, that's fair. I mean, I can see that. But I mean, we used to be able to say the F word. I think we still can here, but you can't on TikTok. Mm-mm. I don't even think you can here now. I think you can for if you've talked for 20 minutes. Boy, I must be tired. LOA, I forgot to hit the like button. Hey, Marcy. That's okay. You're forgiven because you gave 3 membership or 5 memberships, so that you're forgiven. Hi, Mark. Welcome. Scientology is stuck in Hubbard's old never apologize. I know. They really are. But, you'd think, how stupid is that? You can't move beyond it and learn something. It just seems silly. Anyway, I'm going to go pretty soon. So if anybody has any questions or comments about free speech in Scientology or America, or you want to say anything, now's the time. Hi, June. We're just leaving. We've been on for over an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm sorry you missed us, but I'm glad you came. And you can hit the like button if you haven't before you go. All right, David Miscavige doesn't care about any of the free speech crap or free anything. He knows he can tie any case up in court for long enough for him to get away. Yeah. I know he doesn't care. I know that. I mean, it's not like I think he doesn't. I just think it's amazing that someone is that stupid. Oh, good, June. I'm glad you've been listening. I have a comment. It was great seeing you. Thank you. It was great seeing you, too. And thank you for coming by. And this was a wonderful night. Sorry, silly, autocratic, spelled your name wrong, Tori. Don't worry. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Thompson. I should have known better, especially since JB808 told me to. Have you ever heard of Space Jab, the album companion? Yeah, I think we were just talking about that, or someone was. I was somewhere where we were. I think last night at dinner they were talking about that. It's more like auto incorrect. That's right. Question. When is your next live chat? Tomorrow? No. I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Friday night is Midnight with Magoo. And can you go over the new hours again? Okay, so Monday and Wednesday are around 8 o'clock. And then Friday is probably 11. So it'll be 11 to 12. So it'll be it's Midnight with Magoo. But it's not too late. Is that okay? They have a very strong defamation laws here. Oh, okay. You have to be careful about what we put on our signs outside. Me too. Time to relax. Yeah, you really need to relax, Dave. I bet. Wow, that's a productive day. All right, you guys. Well, I love you all. Thank you, Marcy, and thank you, Kelly, for helping me. And thank you all for coming by. I appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the night or tomorrow the day. And hopefully I'll see you Wednesday night. All right. Good night.